creative block is something that most of us experience in some form or another throughout our journey as illustrators. And I've experienced creative block quite a few times in my life, and yeah, I've really struggled to start something. And for me, the reason I struggled to start creating something, it was mostly due to having too many ideas. Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first one that I can think of is just having too many ideas. Having too many ideas, and when that happens, I just get stuck in this loop of indecisions. There's so many things that I want to create, but then when I actually sit down to try and create something, my brain just goes silent. I just shut down and I'll just be staring at that blank page and wondering what it is I should create. I have a list of so many things, and I will think of one and then immediately jump to the other one, because the idea is for me to create something really, really awesome, which is also another thing that creates a block for me. Focusing on spending too much time thinking about, I need to create whatever it is that I'm going to create. It has to be awesome and it has to be good. So that keeps me stuck, because I set a very, very high standard, a very, very high goal that seems overwhelming, and then I get stuck.
Creative imagination.
Another contributing factor to my art block used to be artist envy. You go on Instagram and you see all of these amazing artists, and you just feel like, oh man, I can never reach this level of mastery. I'm just not that good, and I don't know if at the level that I'm at now, I know that whatever it is that I'm going to try to create is not going to be close to the masters that I follow, and that can really, really, really be limiting. And yeah, that also held me back a bit for a while. But creative block looks different for everyone, but I truly believe that all of us, we can all overcome it if we just find the right method of dealing with it. It's going to be unique for everyone. We're all different, but I think you have to really sit down and ask yourself these questions of why. Why am I stuck? What really is going on in my mind? Really, really sit down, be honest with yourself, and try to understand exactly what it is that is preventing you from creating. For me, whenever I'm experiencing any kind of a blockage, what helps me is creating a mood board. just collecting a bunch of different ideas, combining them together. And this actually narrows my focus. Instead of me just being all over the place, I can focus on a specific topic. Like even my mood board, I make sure that I make sure there is some variety in my mood board, but not too much. Like the theme, I try to keep the theme in the same realm, or rather the theme be focused on a singular idea. And that helps me really, really narrow my focus. And then from there, I can start experimenting with different designs based on this mood board that I created. So creating a mood board can be a great thing for a lot of people, and I highly recommend it. It helps me a lot whenever I'm feeling a bit stuck, because it's normal to be stuck, but yeah, it's not going to be the same for everyone, as I said earlier. But maybe if you've been struggling with this and you haven't found a solution that works for you, maybe try this idea of just creating a mood board, and then see how that helps you. I think it can be a good solution to your creative art block. So yeah, give it a try, and you might be surprised with what you end up creating. The other thing that can help you from getting out of your blockage is maybe try stepping away from what you normally draw. Maybe try drawing something different. Like for example, if you normally draw fairies, for example, maybe try drawing realistic, or doing some environment work. Maybe practice perspective, anatomy, whatever. Just try something different from what you normally draw, and you might find that actually breaks you out of your block. And then you do that, and you can always come back to what you normally draw. So that can also help as well, because it creates this sense of novelty. There's this new thing. Because as an artist, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, I have a real problem with novelty, where, like I said earlier, I always have like many ideas in my head, and I'm always jumping around to the next new thing, and that gets me excited, which can be a problem. And I'll probably make a video about that some other time. But in this case, stepping away from what you normally draw, that sense of novelty can be a good thing. It can excite you and get you excited to draw something, so that can break you out of a block as well. So maybe you try that as well, see how well it works for you. You can also try experimenting with different mediums. Try maybe painting instead of drawing digitally. Try just maybe even something as simple as just a simple pencil on a piece of paper, if that's not your preferred way of creating illustrations. Step out of your way of doing things. Again, it goes back to the previous point. It's gonna create that sense of novelty. Trying something new, it can be exciting, and that can break you out of your block. So yeah, try that as well. And finally, I think sometimes with a creative block, sometimes you just maybe need to just step away. You might find that maybe you've just been grinding for quite a long time without any stop in your momentum, and you finally hit this wall because you've just been hammering at this thing non-stop, and that can actually really create a big block where you feel stuck. So it's a good idea to step away from drawing. It can be a really good thing, Maybe take a break, take a day off, take a couple of days off. Don't draw anything, and then you might find that when you come back, you have this new sense of energy. You're ready to go again. You're excited to start again. Yeah, just be careful not to step away too long, because that also can create an issue of you having to start again. This starting again might be a problem. So just take a day, take a day or 2 or 3 or whatever, but just make sure you come back as soon as you can. And yeah, I think this can help. This can really help. But yeah, just a few tips that I think may be helpful to deal with creative block. Thank you for sticking around, watching my video, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.